Assalamualaikum and a very good day to Miss Fatiha. My name is Faik Hakim bin Saleh and my partner.
Ferzardini binti Zaini.
So we are from Pair F from class A, and today we will be presenting our poem Appraisal with the title of My Heart Lifts Up by William Wordsworth.
Okay, so now I'm going to recite the poem. My heart leaps out when I behold a rainbow in the sky. So was it when my life began. So is it now I am a man. So be it when I shall grow old, or let me die. The child is father of the man, and I could wish my days to be bound each to each by natural piety. So moving on to the initial impressions of this poem, the opening lines really set the emotional tone. Where we can see that the poet immediately shows that he is looking at himself as an adult, someone who has grown up, mature, but still deeply connected to the feelings that he had when he was a child. So when he says that his heart leaps out when I behold a rainbow in the sky, it's quite a simple image, but it carries a lot of meaning. It shows a moment of pure, spontaneous joy, which is something that is very natural and not forced. And even though he's an adult now, he still reacts to the beauty of nature with the same excitement and wonder he felt as a child. And that is really powerful because it suggests that this sense of awe has not faded with age. The poet is basically saying that this childlike wonder is something that he wants to preserve throughout his entire life, from childhood to adulthood and even into old age. So in these opening lines, we can see that the journey of the speaker, he is reflecting on the passage of time, but also showing that some emotions, especially connection to nature, should remain constant. It's like saying growing up does not mean losing the ability to feel joy or amazement at simple things. Okay, now let's see the messages and themes of this poem. The first major theme we can see here is the power of nature. The poet shows that how something as simple as a rainbow can have the power to move us emotionally. Nature does not have to be grand or overwhelming. Even small everyday sights can fill us with joy and wonder. This idea reflects the romantic belief that nature has a spiritual and emotional influence on human life. Now, moving on to the second theme of this poem is significance of childhood. The poet reminds us that the feelings we experienced when we were young, like innocence, awe, curiosity, are not just memories. They are foundations of who we become as an adult. He believes that our childhood shapes our inner selves, and that keeping that sense of purity alive is what allows us to live meaningful and balanced life. And the last theme of this poem is necessity of awe. The poet suggests that maintaining a sense of amazement is essential to truly living our life, to truly live our life. So without it, life becomes dull and empty. That's why he writes, "Or let me die." It's a dramatic way of showing how vital wonder and emotional connection are to his existence. Okay, from these themes, we can also draw out some few key messages. First, the poem teaches us how to value natural joy, to recognize that simple beauty in nature can also bring ourselves deep happiness. Second, it encourages us to preserve our youthful spirit, to keep that sense of curiosity and amazement even as we grow older. And finally, it warns us that losing that wonder is tragic. A life without that spark, that emotional connection to the world, is not truly fulfilling. So, overall, this poem reminds us to stay connected to nature, and keeping our heart open to wonder is what keeps us alive in the truest sense. All right, so now let's talk about the structure and form of this poem. This poem is written in a lyric poetry style, which means it focuses on expressing the poet's personal emotions and inner thoughts. In this case, we can see his deep joy and connection with nature. Lyric poems are usually short, musical, and heartfelt, and that perfectly fits Wordsworth's tone in this piece. The poem consists of 9 lines in a single stanza, which gives it a sense of unity and flow, almost like one continuous expression of feeling. It's written in iambic tetrameter, which refers to the poem's rhythm or meter. Now let's break that down. What does iambic tetrameter means? Iambic here means that each unit or foot of the line has two syllables. The first is unstressed and the second is stressed. Like, for example, the do. So words we can see in this poem that I can use as example is again, the sun, behold. Now, whereas tetrameter comes from the Greek word tetra, meaning four. So each line contains four iambs or four of these rhythmic beats, which give the poem a smooth, steady rhythm that feels natural and pleasant to read out loud. So we can see examples of this in the lines, my heart leaps up when I behold. And also another example is, so is it now I am a man. If you listen carefully, you can hear that the doom rhythm running through them. And this rhyme scheme of poem is A B C C A B C D D. Sorry, which adds a musical quality and balance. Together, the structure and the rhythm make the poem sound simple but elegant, matching its message about pure and natural beauty that inspires joy in the poet.
Next, let's look at the language and imagery used in this poem. Wordsworth's language here is simple and direct, but it carries deep emotional meaning. Every sound and image contributes to the calm, joyful tone of the poem. First, let's start with alliteration. This is the repetition of the same consonant sound at the beginning of the words. In the poem, we can hear it in the B sounds of behold or began. These repeating sounds add a gentle rhythm and musical quality to the verse. It makes the poem flow more smoothly and naturally, almost like a sound. Then there's the assonance, which is the repetition of vowel sounds within words. You can hear this in the long I sounds in my life and sky. These repeated vowel sounds create a sense of harmony and connection between the lines. The effect is soft and peaceful, which matches the poem's theme of calm happiness and appreciation for nature. Moving on to imagery, this is one of the most powerful aspects of the poem. The image of the rainbow appeals strongly to our sense of sight. We can easily picture it colorful, bright, and full of hope. The rainbow becomes the symbol of joy, purity, and renewal. It's something that everyone can recognize, which makes the poem feel universal and relatable. The poet also uses metaphor in the line, my heart leaps up. His heart doesn't actually leap. Instead, it's a figurative way of saying he feels of a sudden, intense surge of joy. This metaphor captures an emotional reaction that catches instinctive, showing how deeply the poet connects with nature. We also can see personification when Wordsworth describes the heart as leaping. By giving the heart a human-like action, he makes the emotion feel more vivid and alive. It helps the reader to visualize that burst of happiness as something active and full of life. Finally, there is a paradox of a famous line, the child is the father of the man. At first, it sounds contradictory. How can a child be the father of a man? But this line creates a deep truth. Our childhood experiences shape who become as adults. The emotion, the imagination, the sense of wonder we have when we are young give birth to the mature self we grow into. Altogether, Wordsworth's use of language, from sound devices like alliteration and assonance to deeper techniques like metaphor and paradox, gives this short poem its lasting beauty. It feels simple on the surface, But the language works on so many levels to express his joy, his philosophy, and his lifelong devotion to nature. Now, the interpretation of the poem. The short piece beautifully expresses the poet's deep emotional connection to nature. Right from the opening line, my heart leaps up when I behold a rainbow in the sky. We can feel the poet's spontaneous joy and gratitude. That one image sets the entire tone of wonder and appreciation of the natural world. Wordsworth emphasizes that this joy isn't something new or temporary. It's been with him throughout his whole life. It existed when he was a child, so was it my life began. It continues in his adult years. So is it now I am a man, and he hopes it will remain even when he grows old. So be it when I shall grow old. For him, this lifelong sense of joy is essential to a meaningful life. And even he says, or let it die, showing that without this connection to nature, life would be lose its purpose. The line, the child is the father of the man, carries one of the poem's most profound ideas. It means that the innocence, imagination, and purity we have as children shape who we are as adults. The poet believes that the early emotion should continue to guide and nurture us as we grow older. Finally, in the closing lines, and I will wish my days to be bound each by each bound each to each by natural pity. Wordsworth expresses his wish for lifelong harmony with nature. He wants to he wants every stage of his life to be connected by a sense of devotion and reverence for the natural world. On a deeper level, this poem celebrates emotional continuity and spiritual integrity. It encourages us to preserve our childlike wonder, our sense of moral purity, and our appreciation of life. Although it's a very short poem, it carries a timeless message that true wisdom and happiness come from staying connected to future, to nature, and never losing that instinctive sense of awe. That's all from us. Thank you.